is being played, either on radio or television or in other public places. So we basically generate two revenue streams. One being broadcast revenue, and that is increasingly not only traditional radio and television, but all kinds of online platforms. And on the other side, what is called public performance. And that is when music is played in bars, restaurants, factories, workplaces, not in the private environment. We collect these monies in the Netherlands, and that's roughly 50 million euro on an annual basis. And we distribute them to producers and to artists. And for the ones of you who are artists or who are presenting a record company, it is very important that you make sure that your repertoire is registered in a proper way with organizations like ourselves. We are often mentioned a collection society. We're also called music licensing company, which I think sounds more friendly and more entrepreneurial. But basically what we want to do is to collect as much money as possible on your behalf and pay it through as quick as we can. And we do that to foreign artists. So the majority of the airplay in Holland is international international repertoire. And we collect not only on behalf of Dutch artists with our sister societies abroad, but also for a number of international acts. You can do that yourself. You can register your repertoire with a society, with a music licensing company. And that takes some administrative work. You can also decide to give this responsibility to somebody else. And there are a number of agents around the world, one of them being next to me, Gino, and they are an intermediary between what we do and a number of artists. So these are the basics of what we do.
As Marcus said, we're the in-between, sorry, little microphone thing. We're the in-between the performer and the society. Essentially, as he said, you can do this yourself, and it's one of the things that you should do, at least be part of a society, whichever one it is. Once that's done, don't expect the society to just whip you over money the next day. It doesn't work that way. You have to basically register your repertoire inside their database, and it's a continuous process. Of course, it's tedious, it's long, and sometimes you can't do it, especially if you're on stage, either DJing or performing. And many times, as people would say, why do we need you? We can do this ourselves, which is absolutely fine. Like I said, you don't need us, you can do it yourself. But the time and effort to be put in there is a daily, almost daily matter. Often I'm asked, why? Well, just like a performer needs a manager, a business manager, a tour manager, a financial manager, a booking agent. I mean, these are all things that you can technically do yourself if you want to do it. Who the hell has the time to do that? You need to be on stage. So somebody behind the stage needs to do all the paperwork. That's what we do.
Jeff, as an artist, you need these guys, right?
Yes, that's my point of view. When I started recording music, I was kind enough that the right people pointed me in the direction of not only registering my work with copyright societies as a writer, but also registering my work as a performer with neighboring rights societies, so to speak. And so I ended up with Sena. And it's surprisingly how much people and colleagues I have are not even aware of their entitlement to something called neighboring rights. It's also, from a perspective of a lot of friends and people I meet, sometimes difficult to explain it to them, especially as a few shop owners that I know. They're giving me a hard time once in a while, and they're like, what do you mean? We pay for radio, we pay for CDs that we buy to put on in our store. How is this a public performance? I mean, we have just clients walking in, and I think that's kind of the part where it's murky territory. Also in trying to explain that. Actually, I agree partially with what Gino says on that it's the same thing like a day-to-day manager because it's complicated, and there he's right. But my thing is, I have a hard time understanding why it's still this complicated. When you look at copyright societies around the world, that's pretty streamlined. And if I register my stuff in Holland with Buma Stemra, it all kind of goes almost automatically. Obviously you have a publisher to double check that everything's all right, but in most cases it is. While neighboring rights, on the other hand, every different territory has a different system of registration, of providing proof of you being on the record, of labeling the way in which you participated on the record. Then every collection in one territory is based on where the contract of the record was closed, and the other one, the location of the recording, is what is used as the benchmark or the basis. And so you need somebody, in my opinion, after 5 years of being a recording artist, you need someone like Gino or another agent to make sure all or most of your money is collected in all the different territories. But in my experience, it's also because the international system is not coordinated yet. And I don't know if that's an ongoing process. I hope for you it isn't, because...
Well, if it was a perfect system, we wouldn't be here. You know, and you touched an avenue right there when it comes to when you write a song, you registered at the Boom-a-Semba, I think you said,
yeah.
And then you're supposed to collect it automatically between the sister societies like them around the world, the ASCAPs, the SOCANs, the PRS, expecting the money to come through, but in essence, the money doesn't always come through the next 60 days. It could take 3 years before you start seeing a first dollar, and it's important to have a publisher, like as you said, in each territory so they can go get the money way faster. So, not that we're a publisher, we are a publisher, but it's not the point here. We're acting in the same manner. We're looking at this from the performer's point of view, and we need to go and collect as fast as possible. It's important, obviously, because you live off this.